with our lessons on linear relationships. This lesson, we are going to look at how we can derive equations or relationships between the x and y data. Let's just do a bit of a recap. What is a linear relationship? It is actually a straight line graph, and all the points with coordinates can satisfy a given equation in this straight line graph. So generally, it is in the form of y equals to mx plus c, where m is the gradient or the slope, alright, which is the rise over run, and c is the constant, which is the value of y when x equals to 0. Now, we'll look at this a little bit more in the next lesson, but before that, we need to recall gradient could be positive or negative. The green line, the gradient is negative. We notice that when the gradient is negative, the y value decreases as the x value increases. The red line is positive gradient. In this case, the y value increases as the x value increases. So make sure that you know the difference between negative gradient and positive gradient. Right. If you are given a series of data of x and y, can we find the relationship between y and x? Now, we know that y equals to mx plus c. We know that from the information given, when y increases, x increases. Therefore, in this case, for m, the gradient is positive. So using this, let's try m equals to 2. We know it's positive, and c equals to 2. So the equation should be y equals to 2x plus 2. Let's try it. When x equals to 1, what is y? So when x equals to 1, using this equation, y is 2 times 1 plus 2, which is 4. However, it doesn't fit the information given, which is 5. So this equation is actually not correct. Let's try again. M equals to 2 and c equals to 3. In this case, y equals to 2x plus 3. So when we put x into that equation, y equals to 2 times 1 plus 3. That is 5. This could be actually the correct equation. Let's try again when x equals to 2. So substitute x into this equation. Y equals to 2 times 2 plus 3. That equals to 7. This looks as if this is the correct equation. We need to check. Let's do it when x equals to 4. Y equals to 2 times 4 plus 3. That equals to 11. That is the same as the data given. So this looks promising. One last check, confirming when x equals to 50. We worked out y is 103. Therefore, this is a correct equation. Now, the correct equation is y equals to 2 plus 2x plus 3. Let's have a look at another set of data. First thing we look at is the gradient. Again, we notice when x increases, y increases. So therefore, the gradient is positive. Again, do the trial and check error. Let's try m equals to 2 and c equals to minus 2. The equation is y equals to 2x minus 2. Let's put it in. Okay, substituting x into this equation, we found that y is 0 and that is not equals to minus 2. So this equation is not correct. Try again. This time m equals to 4 and c equals to minus 6. Now y equals to 4x minus 6. Let's have a look. Substituting 1 into this equation. So y equals to 4 times 1 minus 6 equals to minus 2. Right. This could be correct. Let's confirm it when x equals to 2. So when x equals to 2, substituting into this equation is 4 times 2 minus 6 equals to 2. Looks like it's a correct equation. Now, check again with x equals to 5 and x equals to 20. Both of them looks correct. So therefore, in this case, the equation is 4x minus 6. This time, let's look at a different example. Again, we need to find a relationship between y and x. This time, look at the information given. Y decreases when x increases. So therefore, we know that m, the gradient, is actually negative. Because we know that it is negative, we try m equals to minus 2 and c equals to 12. This is just as a guess. So when we substitute x equals to 1 into this equation, y actually is minus 2 times 1 plus 12. That is 10. That does not equals to 11. So this is not the correct equation. Try again, repeat the same process. This time, we still use m equals to minus 2 and c equals to 13. The equation now becomes y equals to minus 2x plus 13. So in this case, when x equals to 1, substituting 1 into this equation, y is 2 minus 2 times 1 plus 13, and that's 11. Look, that is promising. Repeating the same process for 2, 3, and 10, we find that when x is 2, using this equation, y is 9. Correct. When x is equals to 3, y is 7. Promising. And finally, let's confirm. When x equals to 10, y is actually minus 7. Therefore, the correct equation in this case is y equals to minus 2x plus 13. Now, I want you to pause the video for about 5 minutes and see if you can work out the equation for the following. We've got x and y, x value and y value. Right, that's enough time. Let's have a look. We know that in this case, y decreases when x increases. Therefore, m, the gradient, is negative. Once we know that m is negative, we try m equals to minus 2 and c equals to 1. Y equals to minus 2x plus 1. In this case, when x is substituted into this equation, y is minus 1. So therefore, this equation is not correct. Let's try again. Minus 2 is m and c is minus 3. The equation is now minus 2x minus 3. So substituting x equals to 1, y is minus 5. That is good actually. We can get the same answer. Let's try with 2 and 20. When it is 2, y is minus 7, promising, and confirm it with when x is 20, y is minus 43. Therefore, the correct equation is y equals to minus 2x minus 3. Now, how about when you are given a graph? What do? You know x and y. You know the points. So, one way of doing it is actually fill in the blanks. Write out a table of x and y value. This time, this is the x and y value based on the graph here. So when x is 0, y is minus 3. X is 1, y is minus 1. X is 2, y is 1. When x is 3, y is 3. So using the same procedure as this, the equation is actually 2x minus 3. Why don't you pause the video for 5 minutes and see whether you can work out the equation y equals to x minus 3. Now, as a summary, so if a set of data x and y values are given and the relationship is a linear relationship, this should always be in the form of y equals to mx plus c. M is the gradient and c is the constant. So the equation can be derived by guess and check method. Guess m and guess c. do some intelligent guessing. M is positive when x increases and y increases, so the gradient is positive. But M is negative when y decreases and x increases. So, with the intelligent guess, you would know what M is, whether it's positive and negative. Thanks very much for listening.